Say hello to Rick Scott, Florida's Republican governor-elect. Rick got his business degree, bought and fixed up a donut shop, and gave his mom a job, that unemployed, government-sucking bitch. Having mastered the glazed, filled, and sprinkled varieties of donuts, he made the jump into the healthcare business, where he started the Columbia Hospital Corporation and would later acquire HCA, or Hospital Corporations of America. A series of New York Times articles beginning in 1996 began scrutinizing Columbia HCA's business and Medicare billing practices. These culminated in the company being raided in July 1997 by federal agents searching for documents. Among the crimes uncovered were doctors being offered financial incentives to bring in patients, falsifying diagnostic codes to increase reimbursements from Medicare and other government programs, and billing the government for unnecessary lab tests. Following the raids, the Columbia HCA Board of Directors forced Scott to resign as chairman and CEO. He was paid just under $10 million in settlements, and he also left owning 10 million shares of stock worth over $350 million. In settlements reached in 2000 and 2002, Columbia HCA rose to public attention when it pleaded guilty to 14 felonies and agreed to a $600 million fine in what the Justice Department called the largest fraud case settled in the history of the Justice Department. In 2003, Scott invested $5.5 million in Pharma Integrative Pharmacies, which operates drugstores and pharmacies that offer vitamins, herbal medicine, skin products, homeopathic medicines, and prescriptions. In February 2009, Scott founded Conservatives for Patients' Rights, or CPR, which he said was intended to put pressure on U.S. Democrats to enact healthcare legislation based on free market principles. As of March, Scott had given about $5 million for a planned $20 million ad campaign by CPR. By the October 25, 2010 Tampa debate between Scott and Alex Sink for governor of Florida, Scott had spent $60 million of his own money on the campaign, compared to Democratic opponent Alex Sink's $28 million. The Fort Myers News Press quoted Rick Scott as saying, in total he spent $78 million of his own money on the campaign. Rick Scott ultimately won in the general election for governor of Florida, defeating Alex Sink by around 68,000 votes, or 1.29%. Here's my state Florida's new governor-elect, Rick Scott, giving testimony about some of those fraud cases I talked about earlier.
Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation, case number 95-165CV-ORL-18.
I don't know what you mean by predecessor. What do you mean by chain? I don't recall. I wouldn't know. Well, what do you mean by occupancy? I'm not sure what the definition is. Say the question again. What's your definition of overcapacity? I'm not sure I understand what serious is. I have no idea. I'm not sure what statutory merger.
Well, aren't you a corporate lawyer? Didn't you practice corporate hospital law, sir?
Corporate hospital law? I don't know what your definition of corporate hospital law would be. I'm not sure what a market is. I don't know what you mean by process. Could you define what you mean by market? Yeah, I'm not sure I understand.
You can't answer that question?
No. I don't know exactly how we market in Florida, so I really couldn't answer it.
You just don't know?
I don't know how they market down there.
Let me just ask you to take a look at the last page, Mr. Scott, if you would. Is that a Xerox of your signature?
Right there?
Yes, sir.
It looks like my signature, but what's your question?
And this guy has the nerve to tell us, let's get to work, and that he's a political outsider. He also wants to demand accountability to justify every tax dollar spent every year by the government, along with reducing the state workforce by 5% and drug testing welfare recipients. It is pathetic that in this country it takes less than 15 years for people to forget that they have just elected a man into government who had previously lost his job for defrauding that same government. Here's a little bit of paid electioneering communication, otherwise known as political advertising, that I received from Rick Scott since I live in Florida. There's Rick right there. Rick Scott, you know, he political outsider, create jobs, demand accountability, because he knows what the government looks for, because they raided his ass and fucking fined his company that he was CEO of over $600 million for defrauding the government. He wants to cut state spending like the same money that he used to take. Oh, but here's my fucking favorite. Buyer beware. Who can you trust to stop wasteful government spending? Oh, I know. The douchebag that used to fucking steal money from the taxpayer. That's who. The guy that's sending me advertisements, probably using the money that he fucking stole from us, the taxpayers. That's who I want to fucking have as my governor. Well, it's too fucking late now. I voted. The motherfucker spent 2.5 times as much as the Democratic candidate for governor, Alex Sink, who spent like under $30 million. This guy spent like $78 million, and he won by 1.3%. Fuck this state. I don't know what the fuck people are thinking. Like, this is better? This is better than what? Having someone that actually gives a rat's ass? And the things that he puts up against Alex Sink here is that she wants higher sales taxes. Oh, I don't know. But you know that deficit you guys are always bitching about? Yeah, it has to be covered somehow, you retard. Let's see. She supported job-killing tax hikes. Oh, she supports the government's takeover on health care. Oh, and she wants to maybe let the fucking Bush tax cuts die. Republicans blow my mind. They want tax cuts across the board, especially for the rich. They want to be in multiple wars all over the goddamn world, which cost tons and tons of fucking money every day. And then they sit there and talk about how they are the fiscally responsible ones, how they are the ones that want to reduce the deficit and shit. Fuck you, you fucking sacks of lying shit. I mean, Democrats are not perfect. I don't call myself a Democrat. But god damn if I'll ever fucking call myself a Republican. In short, for all the people who voted for Rick Scott, and Rick Scott yourself, suck a dick, Rick. And on a side note, I am currently working 2 jobs, so my free time is extremely limited. Hopefully I can maybe get down to just 1 job, or maybe like 1.5 would be even better, you know, cut down my hours at one of the 2. But I am working a lot, so I will not be able to make as many YouTube videos as I could before. Hopefully you guys can be patient enough until I gain a little bit more free time, and then I will be more than happy to spend that free time making videos for you guys, alright? Cocktopus out.
I don't want that cock steak. Better fucking eat it, or I'm gonna break your neck.